Hi everybody, welcome back to Soul Like Dotty. It is January, so Happy New Year, and it feels really weird doing a vlog today, and I don't know why, because I did one last week, but it was from the studio when I was kind of setting up in my little sewing room. Here today I was kind of, this feels strange, and I don't know why. Who knows? So, a little bit of an update, what am I wearing, what I've been making, what have I got planned, and yeah, a couple of little bits. So just a general sort of update. So let's start with what I'm wearing, because I usually forget if I don't do it now. So finally today I got the sleeves into this, which is the Friday Pattern Company Saturday set, which was launched just before Christmas. I'm sure lots of you have been busy making this. It's been a weird make for me. I've got to say, there is absolutely nothing wrong with the pattern, but there is absolutely something wrong with the fabric that I chose and the process that I used to make it in. So I think I cut this at the studio where I teach sewing, because I've got a big A0 cutting mat over there. It's perfect for cutting out. So when I'm doing skirts and stuff, it's wide. I've got a great cutting mat here that's almost 2 meters long, but sometimes I'm manoeuvring things. So I've kind of started to naturally cut bigger pieces like skirts or coats and things out over there. I'm going like that because it's over there, over the road. So I cut it out there and put it into one of my zip up project bags, and then I took it to Sawtoon, and I think I was finishing off my Ava blouse that I mentioned last week or the week before that was on the door, which is lovely, from the dressmaker's closet. So I finished that at Sawtoon, and then I started this, and it was the Sunday Sawtoon, I think, the one before Christmas, where it was like the Christmas party one and things. So I got a little bit of it done, but not a lot. And I don't know why, because on the pattern, it's a type of skirt that I've made a lot of times. It's not massively visible on there. Let me see if I can find the line drawings to show you. It's the sort of skirt with what I would call slanty pockets. Okay, so similar to, you can see, oh God, I'm rubbish at this in reverse, there we go. Very similar to the technique you use for the little pomegranate skirt. But I just really kind of struggled on with kind of getting the pockets to go in as I wanted them to. And you know, when you kind of go on, what's wrong with me? Like, I'm absolutely capable of making this. So why is it not going right? So let's talk fabric. This is a viscose challis that I bought from Boys Store. So I've used viscose challis a lot, but I've bought it all from Rainbow Fabrics in garments I've already made with it. I've got some up on the shelf there for dresses in the summer, which I bought from Pound Fabrics. So I've not made that. I suspect it might be a little bit like this, and I don't know why. There's just something different about the texture of it. It creases like crazy. Now, I don't mind pressing as I go, but I absolutely hate and detest ironing. But I think when I said about the process, I think I started in one place, it went in a project bag, probably, you know, chucked in rather, well, even folded, it moves in the bag, doesn't it? So then I took it out at Sawtoon. Then I took it, I think I took it back to the studio. Then it's come here and it's like ping-ponged around. And I feel like it's took me maybe 3 weeks to make it, because it's been over the whole Christmas and New Year period, and I've tried to have a bit of downtime before I start my new job next week. So I was determined to finish it. And in my head, I was kind of thinking, if this hadn't been launched before Christmas, I wouldn't have known anything about it. But because it was the pattern was gifted to me, which was so kind, I kind of wanted to get it made, because I'm not a great skirt wearer, because I wear stuff quite high on my waist and not low on my waist. However, I do like where this sits, and I'll kind of show you that in a second. I'm not really a shirt wearer, and I think I made some mistakes, so I'm just being really honest with you guys, because this might help you. So I definitely thought I'd cut the collar right. You'd think it would be easy, and one side of the collar you iron on interfacing with, and the reason I'm saying that is I know Tamla made it at Sawtoon as well, and she forgot to interface one side of it. I've kind of ended up with a 1970s porn star collar. Well, that's what I call them, where you have a collar and a bit more of a collar, because by the time I'd finished trimming some bits off here and faffing on, it didn't actually go to where it was meant to go, because from what I can see, it's meant to be. I'm trying to kind of look at the pictures and gauge it. Is it as bad as I think it? I don't think it is, actually, you know. Because I think when I was looking at it, I thought the collar was meant to finish here, but looking at those pictures, I think it's okay. Oh, I've given myself such a hard... See if I can get that focused. I've given myself such a hard time. I think you can see it on the green yellow dress. So the one thing I did do, which was silly, was just leave my cream coloured thread on my overlocker because I was stitching it with black thread on the seam line anyway. But what it's meant is, for places like this, I'll stand up, I've got to be very careful because you can sort of see the cream. The colour's just totally changed there, but it's not as bright as it looks here. Just like a rust colour. I absolutely love the sleeves. They're quite a bishop sleeve. There's a lot of movement in them. I've got big arms, as you know, I won't dwell on it, but they fit me really nicely. They went in really nicely. One of my Make 9 promises, things, whatever I've called them, was to challenge myself with new things, which I've done a couple of already, I'm going to come to in a second. So obviously this style of top, how it fits to the ties and everything, was completely new for me. So I have enjoyed the process. I think I will definitely make the skirt again. And if I stand up, I'll try to angle it down. I have got a picture, but we currently busy with the room next door. So my natural waist would be, excuse the belly hanging out over the top here. Well, I'd absolutely never have this much of me on show. But with my dresses, I tend to have my waist sort of sitting about there. And because this is a flat waistband with the elastic at the back, it feels quite comfortable to do that. I do have IBS, so I get quite distended here, but I feel like it drapes quite nicely. Actually, I mean, I did make it with pockets. I probably wouldn't put pockets in. I'd probably do it differently next time. But I actually like, I'm just going to sit down and bring this up again. I'll drop a picture in at some point so you can see it better. But I can't really get a good full length one in the room next door because we're literally about to move beds and wardrobes around, the stuff everywhere in there. With the shirt, I do want to make it again because I don't like being sort of defeated by things. I feel better with it since I've just looked at that picture and realised actually it looks like the picture does. But I kind of think this would be something for me that would be lovely more in the summer. I could see myself kind of even on holiday, some in a fabric that it would just, you know, it wouldn't crease like this does, kind of just having a skirt that I could pull on and then this to pull on over like a swimming costume or something, or on a night. And I definitely think this would look brilliant over like a slip dress sort of thing, or even just like a plain dress. But like, I don't like wearing cardigans in the summer because it's too warm, but this is a way that you could have like a little cover up over, because you could shorten the sleeves if you wanted to and just have a little tie up cover over, which I think would look quite cute. So do I like it? Yes. Do I like this fabric? I love the look of it, but no, it probably would have been better as a dress. But it just needs to go on hangers, have a good press and stay there, rather than some of my stuff which just gets, like jersey, just gets sort of chucked around a bit more really. So there you go. Let me know if you've made it. And I'm just going to let you know about a great way that you can kind of keep in touch with each other and with me, and we can communicate with each other if you're interested. So I will put the details in the description box below, but I've just today set up a Facebook group. It's called Sew Like Dotty. God, I can't remember what I've called it now. Hang fire. That was all of about, you know, a couple of hours ago. You can't expect me to really remember that, can you? You know what I'm like. So I have called it Sew Like Dotty, and it just says public group because I've had a lot of people requesting to join my Sew Like Dotty group, which is for my sewing school, but that is a group that's just specific for my customers, the people that are going through my sewing school. So I thought, I'm a member of sewing groups, lots of you probably are too on Facebook. I want to keep it as a really positive space. I don't want to be a group that develop when Sewn Bee's on and we're slagging off people that are on the show. That's not where I'm at. Somebody's always said, you know, if people are commenting that stuff's not ironed or something, I'm not about that at all. Let's not be critical. Let's be positive. Let's be inspiring. Let's be supportive. I absolutely love the whole ethos around A Gift to November, where we had so many different sewing techniques, hand sewing, machine sewing, embroidery, cross stitch, so many entries. That's what I would love to kind of take on board, but in a positive way. So I've set that up. I'm quite a laid back person, but if there are sort of negative things on there, if people report them to me, I will remove those posts and things like that. I don't really want it to be like that, so hopefully not. But if you want to be part of that, I'll put a link in the description box below. That would be absolutely lovely. I wanted to say a couple of thank yous, because some of you guys have very kindly bought me a coffee, and I don't mention it very often. I don't always have it in my description box because I'm just a bit hopeless like that. But obviously anything that you do gift me is either either reinvested back into my channel and cameras and things, or I might get myself a gin with it now and again, but I don't really drink that often. But thank you, I do really appreciate it. So a big thank you to Christine Eaton. So thanks for your little coffee there, and to Julie Auger, who also bought me a coffee a little bit earlier just before Christmas, and to Maz, who I think is Marilyn, who bought me one in August, but I'm not really sure how. I missed the notification, but I don't want you to think it's not appreciated, because it absolutely is. So a big thank you to you guys. I have no expectations of anything at all, but I am massively grateful when you do. So thank you very much. 2 gifts that were sort of, well, certainly this was a Christmas card, and it just arrived a couple of days ago, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I could see some people had got theirs, but I knew that it was coming, and I was praying that it would come. So this is from Alice and Agatha and Chris, which is, and I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, which is from Agatha's Cottage on, I think it's the same on Instagram and YouTube, and it is this most beautifully handmade Christmas card. How gorgeous is that, with the tree, with the lace, honestly, and that lace is so soft, absolutely gorgeous. So it came in the new year, but I did let her know, because I'd said there was a couple of things that I knew I was getting some things sent, and I was really hoping they didn't go AWOL. But that is gorgeous, and what a great idea. Obviously, yeah, I don't know if you can see it, but it's done in metallic thread, and there's a star on top of the tree, so that's gorgeous. So I'm going to absolutely keep that. That's lovely. And then I do chat to Suzanne, who is Suzanne on Instagram, and she has a Facebook page as well, a sewing Facebook page, and she sent me this, well, 2 gifts actually. One of them might be in my bag, oh no, it might be downstairs, which is this gorgeous made in tulle pink with these buttons on. How beautiful is this, with the elastic, with notebook cover, as a thank you for doing A Gift to November, which I never expected any thanks for, really. Thoroughly enjoyed doing it, but that is absolutely gorgeous, and I love it. And obviously the notebook is removable, because Cal's also got me Cal's treating Monday on my new job like my first day at school. Absolutely love him to bits. He came in the other day with pens, pencils, calculator, pencil case. I felt like I was off to do my GCSEs or something. I'll probably feel like that on Monday. I'll be like, oh, what have I done? But yeah, that's ready for me to go in my bag and put my notes in. So I love that. And the other little gift that she made me, I don't know if Adam has shared this from Adam Sews. It's a little hand sanitizer with an applique of a sewing machine on, and it's absolutely gorgeous, but it's in my handbag liner that I moved between bags, and that's downstairs. So thank you. So what else have I been up to? So on the theme of starting work, I kind of thought, I don't need a new work outfit. You know, I used to have a wardrobe that had this many clothes, and I was talking to some girls who were doing my Learn to Sew use a machine yesterday session. Now my wardrobe is this big, full of colour, and I've overflowed into the guest wardrobe. But I love it. I love that my life is full of colour, and I've got a real range of things to put on. And I did pop my green indigo on behind, because that seems to be the garment that I'm naturally kind of being drawn to from last year, I would say. But what I'm absolutely wearing the most at the moment, just to keep warm, are my jersey Nell dresses that I've shared before, the dressmakers closet long sleeve Nell dresses, because I've got my thermal leggings on, I've got my thermal vest top, which is really thin, from Marx's, can definitely recommend them, and then I put those nice sort of sweatshirt dresses on and I'm so snug and warm. But what I decided was I needed a new work bag. I have got some big leather bags, like designer bags, but I didn't want to take one of those. I'm in a new office. I don't quite know, you know. I just thought I'm going to make myself one. So you might recall I had about 2,000 bin liners full of scrap from the last 2 years. Slight exaggeration, I know. And I made the closet cord puff with it, and I made it twice the size, and I can't move it. Yep, do you remember? So all my scraps were going into that. I do have a box that any Liberty scraps, any little bit of Liberty fabric that I use, I keep to use in other projects. So I was browsing Debbie Shaw on YouTube, because when I was learning to kind of get into sewing again, I followed lots of her projects, and she had a smaller bag, like a zip-up wash bag, but she did this with it. So I've learned a new technique, well, not a new technique, but I've done something different, which is I can't remember, one of my things for this year, so tick on the Make 9, which is to like learn new skills. So I've done, for the first time ever, I've used piping, and I'm really pleased with it. I actually started using the zipper foot on my machine, and then I thought, I'm sure I've got a piping foot for this new machine, and I did. So it was brilliant. So what I've done is, this is the bag. So I've made it out of it's like a blue jumbo cord that I got from Rainbow Fabrics a few years ago, and I had some pieces of it left. I didn't have enough to make the height of the bag and the width all in one piece. So the back and the front are different. So I'll show you the back first. This is just the, I don't know what's going on with my colour today. That's probably better. Liberty Bias binding from Alice Caroline Fabrics. So I've just joined them together with that on the back. And then on the front, I've done, and I think I just got the piping probably from eBay or something in lockdown, some pink piping, top and bottom. And then all of these are little scrap pieces of different Liberty fabrics that I've got. And the idea is, I probably didn't make them as crisscrossy and slanty as Debbie Shaw does, but I really like how it's come out. I've just lined it, as you can see, in the pale blue. I was going to get some, oh God, what's it called? The stuff that you put in bags that's quite rigid, like a foam bozzle. I have some, but I didn't have big enough pieces to do this. And I went online to order it, and I just thought, no, I'm not paying that much, because I'm kind of use what I've got. So what I did was I used just regular interfacing on the sides, and then I did a double layer of like a wadding that I had that wasn't very thick, just to give it a bit of structure. I don't mind that it's a bit floppy. I didn't want it to be all rigid. And with the straps, I just made them like a scrunchie and turned them through, and then I threaded through some, I can never remember the name of it, webbing, that's the name. I just threaded that through, so it gives the straps a bit more structure, and I really like it. As I say, I've got handbag liners downstairs. I put a little Rosy Cheeks label in that I got from Sawtown, which says, I made this and I can do anything. So next week when I'm in my new job going, oh, I might just kind of rub that label for a bit of good luck. So there you go. So that's ready for my diary, because my whole life is in that. My notebook, done, ready to go. So what else have I been up to? A couple of things that I've just finished, really. You'll remember I made Cal the Walk the Plank pyjamas from Patterns for Pirates, which is the one that I'm using in my sewing school now. So I made them, but they were just too long. So, and the elastic needed tightening. So this was from So Affordable. You can see I've got some more there to make the, where am I at? I'm rubbish at this whole reverse thing. I can't even see it now, there. To make the Fibre Mood Kika dress out of when I get round to it. And I made him those, and they're lovely. I just needed to shorten them, tighten the elastic. So that's, job's a good one, as my dad would have said. Job's a good one. And I'd also before Christmas, started these Saguaro, Friday Pattern Company Saguaro pants in this Turkish tiles fabric, which was from Fabworks in Dewsbury. The only thing I need to still do is kind of do the fancy stitching on the elastic, but I'm just going to trial these because it's a narrow elastic, and I want them more as a lounge pant than anything else, I think. So I just want to make sure the elastic's okay because I'm having some gastric issues at the moment. I've got to have the camera down. And when I'm going like that, it's because that used to be one of the departments that I used to manage at Bishop Auckland. So I always went, oh God, if I ever have to have a camera down, you'll have to knock me out. I can't have throat spray. I'd be kicking and flinging and probably swearing all over the place. So anywho, I won't dwell on that too much for now. So I have got a fabric to show you because I'm so excited. You know, I'm really excited to be a brand ambassador for Jane at the Dressmaker's Closet. It's really exciting, and I just love how she's got it organised. She's using something called Trello, which is a planning. So I can see this is great for me because this is how my mind works. I've got a whole schedule for pretty much the whole year. I know when I need to order fabric. I know when the patterns are coming. I know when I'm testing them. I know when there's like a team, not a team challenge, but a team like all on board project that we're going to be doing. So I can really plan that into my time scales and know that I've got enough time to do it. So we got the nod to order fabric, which Minerva are kindly gifting to us for this. So I just checked with Jane earlier. It's the Fleur Pinafore that we're going to be pattern testing. I think I should get that pattern probably towards the end of next week. And got the nod to go over onto Minerva and choose some fabric, so that was pretty exciting. I know lots of people are brand ambassadors for Minerva and things, but I wasn't. So this is the one that I chose. It came in 2 days. It is a chambray denim, but I've got to say it feels like viscose. It is so soft and it is so pretty. See if I can kind of pull back. How gorgeous is this? And I just thought it's perfect for me. I'm absolutely in love with it. And as a pinafore, I can put anything under it. So I have got some black jersey there because I still want to make the Elysian bodysuit from Friday Pattern Company. I've got a pale blue Ava blouse from the Dressmaker's Closet that I've already made. I've got a pink sagebrush top, which I think I cut out last summer in my to make pile, which I need to get made up because it's starting to do me head in now. I literally think any colour I could put with this because it's got so many colours in it and the colours are just as vivid as they're coming out there. So I think it was $12.99 or $12.95 a metre, and I got 3 metres of it, and it was quite a wide fabric and we needed a certain width, quite a good width, or we would need more, but I'm really happy. So I almost put it in the washing machine today, but I thought no, I want to share it with you guys first. So yeah, if you like the look of that, I'll be updating you with that obviously as soon as I've made it and I can share. And yeah, I'm excited to see, because obviously I know the things that are going to come out this year and what I'm going to be making, and I'm really excited about it. Oh, I know Jane is too. And Jane, I absolutely adore how organised you are because you clearly work in the same way as me. And I'm going to say that now and I'll probably miss something over the air. So, what's in here? Do I hear you ask? Well, so you might have seen, if you follow me on Instagram, that, as I said earlier, one of the things I want to do this year is to learn new skills. And one of the other ones is to get my work, personal and sewing life balance all in some bit of quilting, because it's about to go through a bit of a rejig, I'm not going to lie. And in the real world, I know that to keep some harmony and balance, and I don't mean harmony because Cal isn't bothered how much time I spend sewing and things, but I really want to value the time that we have together on an evening and things. So I don't want to feel, and I've said this ever since I started vlogging, that I've got to kind of churn out a couple of garments a week because I need to share them on my channel. I like to share weekly. I'm probably going to settle into a new day I think I'm going to start to probably record on a weekend and maybe share on a Tuesday or a Wednesday moving forward. I'll still tag in Friday sews. It's just, I think if I do it that way, I know that I'll probably have time on a weekend to actually record. But I don't just want to make loads of garments for the sake of making them. I want to make things because I want to make them. And one of my other challenges was to make things for others as well. So I've kindly been given by you guys lots of suggestions about t-shirts and things for Carl, which is one of the things I want to do. So thank you really for that. I appreciate it. So you're thinking, what you going to get to? Get to the point, Alison. So I was watching Debbie Shaw's, not live because I'm at work on a Saturday morning, but playing that back on Saturday, and she was talking about the Half Yard Club, which I have looked at before, which I think is $5.99 a month, but if you use the code WELCOME you get the first month for free. So it was just good timing, because obviously on there every year they do a new quilt for the year, and so if you remember, there are two different things which I've now discovered. So you've got Debbie Shaw Sewing, which is where you can buy the fabric and the books, and the Half Yard Club, which is you don't get paper patterns, like they're emailed to you and you print them off, but you can go into the files, and there is anything that's been shared over the last 2 years, you can access those files, and I think the quilt blocks might stay on there. So I haven't that long ago gone, oh no, I'm not into quilting and stuff. I don't know, I just was watching it and I thought, actually, I'd quite like to give this a go this year. I'd like to learn some quilting techniques. Suzanne, who sent me the notebook cover, she's amazing at the stuff she does, as is Adam. So I just thought, yeah, I'd quite like to kind of give that a go, really. So the quilt that I'm going to be making is going to look like this one just here. And it's got 13 blocks to it. So I think this month and May you make 2, which are the same pattern, but the fabric's placement is slightly different. So you can see at the top there how they look. And you get, what do you get on your download? So you get your instructions of what to do. So obviously I'm just going to kind of build up a bit of a folder. I'm a paper girl. I probably will keep it in an online folder, but I'll print it out and keep it in a file. All your step-by-step instructions, how to put those together. So this one, the melon thingy, whatever it's called, is melon patch. It's a plique, and then you get your actual design to cut out. So I'm going to do that. You've got the dimensions of how many different fabrics you need, what quantities of each you would need for all of the different designs. But there was, Debbie was talking about, I'm talking about like she's my best friend. She's not really, she's lovely. I'm just hoping you can't, that's it, the cardboard's not in the way. So on Debbie Shaw Sewing, you can order the book, which goes with the quilt from the Half Yard Club. So I ordered that. So this is what you get. These are all the different colours of the fabrics. So obviously, as you're making it, you know which ones you're gonna use. Now, straight away, I knew there was 3 on here that I probably wouldn't be so keen on, only because I wanted to kind of go in either our bedroom. So our bedroom's grey, the other room's white, and I would tend to work with probably pinks or greys or purples, those sort of colours, blues, a bit like the clothes I usually wear, to be fair. So the 3 colours that I wanted to replace are the olive green, I can't remember what it's called, mustard, which they are lovely fabrics, and the orangey one at the top here. So what I've done is, everything looks a bit of a mess up here because I was pulling stuff out last night to see what I liked. And I was going to put some of the Liberty fabrics in, but I don't want to put patterns in where generally the fabrics have a print, or like a pattern on like a print, but they're not as bold as that, just while I'm getting familiar with it all and what matches in. So I've ordered 3 of the fabrics to fit in with this. Now I know straight away you're going to be going, hang on a minute, because your thing number 1 this year is don't order any fabric, and that is correct. But it did say unless gifted, which it is for the pattern test, Or technically, I kind of ordered this in New Year, so I might have just scraped in with that. But I've ordered a grey, a lilac, and a darker grey. Well, they're all half meters, but I needed a fat quarter of one, no, 2 fat quarters and a half meter, so there'll be a little bit left out of that. So the background to it is this white. I don't know how well that'll come out. It's like a blender with a little bit of a pattern on. So that's sort of the background. And then there's this green. You can see the pattern on there. It's quite pretty. The pink is just sort of a bit of a blurry pink. It's bright, but it's definitely not as bright as it looks. That's a bit better. When I go like that, you'll be like, whoa, that's bright. Then I've got this blue, which is really pretty, and this like royal blue, which is gorgeous. It's sort of a bit borderline purple. I'll just take a couple of things out because I was thinking about putting those in, but I've changed my mind. So then the other 3 that I've took out are the olive green, which are lovely. That would kind of look nicer in our lounge because our lounge is sort of olives and mustard. So I might make some cushion covers out of that. And then you've got the mustard, and then you've got the orange. So I'm definitely going to use these. And then to do all the binding and the outline, you've got this charcoal here. And it looks like it has white spots on, but it's just bits of fluff, I think. So yeah, and I'm quite excited about it, really. So obviously then I started doing a bit of research. So this quilt is a quilt as you go quilt, and you're not, I still don't know anything about quilting. I'll be absolutely honest. You can probably shout in and tell me loads of things that I don't know. So what that means is you make each square of the quilt. So you do your design, you put your wadding on, and you put your backing fabric on, and then you do your embroidery, your stitching onto that. So at the moment I'm waiting for the wadding to come because that was out of stock, but I had an email yesterday to say it was in stock. And the backing fabric, I've ordered a So Hexy fabric from Fleur et Hours. I'll see if I can just quickly find that. I don't know if I took a picture on it last night. At one point I had it on my phone in the middle of all this. Carl's so patient, you know, with me. I kind of had all this out on the bed last night and I was going, what do you think? Which looks better? Which do you think? And he was going, you know that I don't have any kind of coordination in colours and things. I'm not going to bore you trying to find that on my phone, but it's basically different. It looks like pinks and greys, and it's all as if it was hexagons that's patchwork together anyway. So I'm going to put the backing fabric as that. So I'm just waiting for those things to come, and then I'm going to get started, and I'm going to start with this month's blocks and get those done. And I was generally browsing YouTube for Quilt As You Go. I can't remember, there's somebody that I started following on there. Anything that I follow like that I think I'm going to make it, I drop, you know, when you save, you can save into a playlist, and I've got a playlist that says I'm going to make it, and I just drop it into there so I know exactly where it is straight away. So there's one that's like daisies where you cut them all on angles, and I thought actually I'm going to continue to keep the scraps. I mean, this is like tiny little scraps off my Ava blouse, but wherever I've got sort of enough left that would be enough for that, with that quilt, as long as they're all in a similar colour palette, I could just make a daisy whenever I want to out of that, and quilt and back that with something else. So I'm trying not to do too much, but I definitely want to make this year. By the end of November it should be finished. And the Quilt As You Go means that you don't have to spread the whole thing out to put your binding and stuff like that on. You join the squares together and then you join strips together, so eventually obviously you end up with a full quilt, but you can sort of do it in pieces so it's a little bit easier to manage. So I think that'll be okay. So there you go. So what have I got planned? I'm having a little sewing afternoon with Tamlin tomorrow. She's coming round to the studio, so I'm looking forward to seeing her. Have a little coffee and a chat and a little sew. Don't know what I'm going to make. I probably need to cut something out. Actually, I do know what I'm going to make. I'm going to start that sagebrush top. There we go. And what I've recognised is I need to take some to the studio and leave it at the studio to make, because I was thinking I could maybe do that with one of these quilt blocks or two, because it's somewhere that I'm going to be working from home 2 days a week. I'm not sure how fast that'll kick in, but I won't be working at home. I'm going to work at the studio with the Wi-Fi and things there. So when I finish work, I could make myself a cuppa and then maybe do half an hour on something before I just come round home, or an hour before I come round home. So I would feel like I was coming home from work like a little bit later, but I would finish at 4:45 generally anyway, unless I'm a late shift. So I could come round home at 4:45 instead, but I'll have got a bit of sewing done. So I think I've learnt from this, rather than shoving stuff in project bags and moving it from here and there, having something that's a project on the go at the sewing studio, so I can put it on a hanger and hang it up and leave it there and then do the next bit of it will be better. So yeah, and then I was chatting to Rowan, because I think herself and Rachel are both at Sawtoon on Sunday, and how exciting are the Northern Soul Sisters? Can we have a whoop for that? Can't wait to hear more about that live on Saturday night, I think. So yeah, Rowan and I were chatting, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to make. And then I went, I do. I hold her entirely responsible for the fact that I've got project bags all over with things that are cut out that I keep forgetting about and moving on to something else. So I've got a beautiful cord that I got at the Knitting and Stitching Show, which is lovely, a needle cord, and I've got that cut as the Dixie dress, so I'm going to take that on Sunday as well. So that's my plans, and that's enough. And if I don't get them all finished in a week, that's okay. So I hope that you're doing lots of lovely sewing yourself. It's been quite a long one today, 35 minutes. I hope that's okay. I hope you haven't nodded off. Join my Facebook group if you want to. Have some happy sewing this week, and I will catch up with you again next week. Take care and bye for now.